This is I Love Black People Radio on HUR Voices, Sirius XM Channel 141. I Love Black People is more than a radio show. I Love Black People is a call from our ancestors to protect us from racial profiling all across the world. Go to iloveblackpeople.com and become a member today. Membership empowers you to live fearlessly and protect Black people globally from racism and xenophobia. Join us today and become a member of our global network with an online global green book with Black-owned and Black-friendly businesses to protect you and your community. Membership is free, and with you, we will become 10 million strong worldwide. I am because we are. Special thanks to Aflac for supporting I Love Black People Radio.
Sinclair Skinner has been recognized by Time magazine as one of the power players in cryptocurrency. He stands out as an unparalleled force in the world in that area, earning him recognition as one of the most influential figures in the Bitcoin industry and space. With a profound commitment to empowering individuals and revolutionizing financial landscapes, Sinclair co-founded the Blockchain Summit, I Love Black People Com, and the esteemed Bill Murray, used to be Bit Murray. His visionary leadership has spearheaded a paradigm shift toward greater monetary control and economic certainty, especially and effectively alleviating the burden of financial dependency for countries and individuals. At the forefront of his endeavors, Bill Murray has emerged as the largest Pan-American Bitcoin wallet, harnessing and transformative potential of blockchain technology.
All right. Good to be black, T-U. All right, that's why I feel good. Now, if my voice is a little raspy, it's because I thoroughly enjoyed some homecoming. And I think one of the things we sometimes forget are the folks that aren't here to stand with us. And we've had many friends and family, the COVID, and even before then, we, as a generation, we went through the crack epidemic, we went to AIDS. And you look at us as a generation, what we've gone through, and we don't believe in a thing called generational chauvinism. We know every generation stands on the shoulders of those that precede them. So we're very clear that we all have a role. And when you do these speeches, you want to give a little quote. I got a Frantz Fanon quote. Out of relative obscurity, each generation must fulfill its destiny or betray it. So we have an obligation to our destiny to make sure that whatever we're called here by God, not pushing any particular religion, but by God, you must fulfill it or betray it. And us as a generation, I'd say Gen X, we've been through a lot, and we've been able to do it, and sometimes in a way that we don't appreciate how much we've overcome. And I draw the same correlation to Tuskegee. If we didn't come of age at Tuskegee, we might not have been able to do things we did. But Mother Tuskegee gave us the actual foundation of preparation to make it through all. They've thrown the kitchen sink at us. You know what I'm saying? They've done everything to stop us, and we still here. We still celebrate. So we're unstoppable. I wish they would, right? Because we built a certain way. And being built like that, a lot of it comes from that, the foundation that our founder made, Booker T. Washington, and he went through his own trials. I mean, we all know about the story in New York when he got brutalized by the police. So we know our founder was very keen on making sure that our head, our heart, and our hands were prepared. And that's what we received through I think sometimes coming back to Tuskegee, we look at even some of the buildings or some things that aren't the way it should be. And I wish I had the Tupac quote, but when you look at the rose that comes out of the concrete, you don't talk about the damaged petals. You talk about its resilience. Many of these amazing black universities, as well as black communities, were destroyed. Tuskegee has weathered every storm, and we're not going anywhere. okay? So don't call it a comeback, right? We've been here for years. So when I say that, I'm saying that, again, I think sometimes since we don't have our horns tooted or people don't, make these things seem relevant, what we've been through as a people is amazing. And it seems like every time we go through something, we don't get a chance to take a breather, you know what I'm saying? Reconstruction, Booker T. Washington did his thing, Jim Crow, civil rights. We never get a timeout, like take a rest. That was a lot y'all just did, and the civil rights was a lot. Like, y'all just with the enslavement, let's give you a few years to just kind of take a deep breath, because that was really difficult. We never got any of that. And we still contribute, probably, if you look at who we are as a people, we contribute like so much more than what we were offered as an opportunity. So again, please, have some solace. Sometimes I talk to our peers and even homecoming, which is an opportunity for us to come back. And everybody, is going through something different. And I just want to make sure that we feel encouraged. Now, I've been through bankruptcies. I've been through all kinds of changes in my life unexpectedly. But those changes give opportunities too. I ain't gonna lie, they say, do you regret some things? I have some regrets, a few, but too few to mention, right? Too few to mention, so I ain't gonna mention them, right? But my point is, now that we're here and we made it through so much of that, I think there's a sense of gratitude in that. So again, as we get off of, it was exit 38, and we see what we see, just know that, listen, it's not over. But we've been through a lot more than a lot of folks. You might get off at the exit at Auburn. What they go through and what we go through ain't the same. Like, let's be clear, let's stop having that's a fake conversation. We know how this thing is set up, but we refuse to lose. I see former Mayor Johnny Ford in here. So Johnny Ford, you go ahead and stand up real quick. Everybody, give me a little bit. That's a frat brother. All right. What I'm saying is that we as a collective, we may disagree, we may not look at these things the same way, but we can be encouraging to each other as we go through that. I'm a reparationist. I want my check. You may not want a check. I'll take that check from you, but that's okay. But what we don't have to do is use that difference that now you got to talk about me or I talk about you. We got to figure, and I think in many ways, if you go back to Booker T. Washington's book, Character Building, we always talk about Up From Slavery, which is amazing. But literally, when he was giving his sermons and talking to the students at Tuskegee, the wisdom he imparted on students that had been born to, our people had been formerly enslaved, the things that he was giving us as tools to use to navigate, not just a world, but navigate our own community, navigate ourselves. Accountability starts with ourselves. So he really was very clear about how important that heart had to be. And I talk about how so many of these things are important to keep us in a position where we can manage what life might throw at us. But Tuskegee gave us those tools. We went through registration. Like, some of my formative leadership skills and ability to manage the actions of institutions was registration. Anybody was an orange card? Anybody have an orange card? Sister Latrice Rutland here, we had an orange card. We made sure we had to take care of some things. And the former SGA president, Latrice Rutland, was there to help us navigate. So we want to make sure we navigate the rest of this life and appreciate those things that we learned in Macon County, unapologetically. We went to school in the middle of Macon County, okay? Like, there's no need to just be clear what that means. We had to make everything. Nobody gave us anything like that. We had to create, what is it, cloudy or gray? The parlay, they didn't have the parlay song when I was there. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying it's very important to our whole ethos of how we look at this. This is ours. And it's not just, and I think sometimes we get too limited in place and people. That Tuskegee experience is, and you even think about Booker T. Washington, there's a book by Dr. Tyreen Wright, a Tuskegee alum, who wrote about Booker T. Washington as the making of a Pan-Africanist. And Booker T's context was global. It wasn't just local. Now, he might have done the work in Macon County, but he made sure there was plenty of other HBCUs that used his model, plenty of other countries. So what we learn here, what we understand, the legacy that we're a part of here was not just meant for this here, a geographical location. Everywhere we go, we should be able to leverage that inspiration and share it. It's not something to be coveted. I see these wonderful faculty members, and I just want to say thank you. And I know, listen, can we give the faculty, And I'm saying this to the sacrifice. You know, there's probably other places you could be. There's probably bigger cities you could be in. There's probably a lot of other things you could be doing, but you chose to be here with us. And again, we tell people, make sure you put some respect on that name when you say Tuskegee. So this is an amazing place. But I know folks could be someplace else, but put some respect on that. But I'm saying that in a way to say that, you know, even when we talk about giving money back, some people have given their lives to Tuskegee. Like, God bless you for that. Oh, the administration, the staff, like the staff, the folks we don't even see, the staff every day doing what they do, we appreciate you. And again, the context of this sometimes gets a little tricky because there's no rewards, there's no trophies for being us. All the things I just said, no one's gonna come up with a trophy for that, a medal. So we gotta do it for ourselves in that regard. You know what I'm saying? We're not waiting for somebody. Again, all the things our founder went through, okay? He still had to deal with this society in a way that was not what it should have been. But he never let that deter him. So again, when I think about the faculty and the folks and staff that literally wake up every day in Macon County and contribute to it. I wake up in Washington, D.C. I have a house in Zimbabwe too. I wake up there, and my wife's from the Dominican Republic. I wake up in the DR. I don't wake up in Macon County. I wake up in a few places. God didn't curse us to live in one. But for y'all to give it right here on everything, humbly I respect it and appreciate. Dr. Morris, thank you for being here to make this all happen. This is why, you know, I'm glad we didn't have to, you know, you heard about the Bitcoin, and I've been in since 2012, and just understanding, again, let me just say real quick on Bitcoin so y'all be clear. Again, it's called blockchain technology for a reason. It's just literally blocks of data connected. But what was interesting about Bitcoin before we had that, there's an issue of double spending, being decentralized. So when we look at the financial system right now, we have a series of banks that are what the intermediaries between our money and whoever we're going to actually transact it with. Now, it's not like the old days, you know, they have a Wells Fargo, you know, there's nobody in a stagecoach with a gun. These folks are charging us all kind of fees to hold our money. So when it came to an opportunity to come up with a technology or be involved in technology, we're no longer someone else was the steward of my money. I'm a steward of mine. Again, being at Tuskegee, I wanted to have sovereignty. Okay, I wanted self-determination like Booker T. Washington was talking about. So this technology lends itself to being something that allows us to actually take those blocks of data, transact it in a decentralized way all over the world without a Microsoft, without a Google, without someone else telling us what we need to do with our value. Now, I'll also say this though, there's no technology that's gonna come to save us. It's really up to us. I saw in the program, they said black expert, and like Dr. Morris probably got that from me. Like, I'm not into Bitcoin for Bitcoin. I'm in it for our people, like Booker T. Washington was, okay? So he probably could have done a lot of things and just got rich. But he came back to Macon County every time and came back to us, folks who may not even be able to directly compensate him. He thought it was more important for that service and that leadership we talk about on our seal. So in many ways, the technology is important. I think we can leverage those things. And in Silicon Valley, I'm involved in a way that they talk about, again, scalable technology, zero marginal cost, the ability to actually create change where as many people who are using your technology, there's not an additional cost to it. So it allows us to take what we're doing in Macon County and do it all over the world. So again, I think about the technology, thinking about what we can do for ourselves. The technology is important, but our orientation is very important. And again, that's why Booker T. Washington, again, said the head, the heart, and the hands. They have to be together, or again, the same technology that can be used to generate power can make bombs. And as the pastor said, you know, we are living in some violent times, and we talk about peaceful solutions to violent world problems. Those peaceful solutions are going to be developed right here at Tuskegee. This is who we are. Now, you can talk about Ivy League schools, you can talk about, if you say pound for pound, Tuskegee's graduates have done more for humanity than what you've seen at these other schools. Let me say another one. Right. And I'm saying that because our contribution, if you look at what Tuskegee's done to help the world, as opposed to many graduates of other universities done a lot of horrible things. Some of the eugenicist development theories came from many other schools. Our theories, and we developed from the peanut, from the soil, from literally so many building blocks that other universities have used. It's amazing. And we have to be the ones to encourage the continuation of that. So whatever you do when you look at Macon County, look at Tuskegee University, we're the adults in the room. Now, remember when we was young, they blamed us for the drugs, and we was a victim of the drugs. So don't blame our young people now. You know what I'm saying? We got to protect our young people. We got to be the one. No one's going to come save us. So if we don't save ourselves, they're not going to come, and they're going to blame us. Like literally, go take everything and say it's your fault. Like it don't make sense. So my point in that is to say our generation still has more to do. You know, to honor our elders, to honor our ancestors, and to make sure there's something better for our prodigy. When we came to Tuskegee and we would say, this needs to be better, that needs to be better, well, who you think's gonna make it better? It's gonna have to be us. No one else is coming. All right, so if you think there's a problem with something, this is why we're here. Now, we all don't stay on Sunday mornings at homecoming, so I'm glad y'all stayed so y'all can be a part of this. So thank you. But my point is, it's important that we take these moments and think about the fact that we're the solution. And our approach to the solution can be different. One of the things Dr. Morris talked about was about how we don't just have to contribute using money. Back in 2011, we created a super PAC, the first black-led super PAC called 1911 United. It actually was with members of Omega Psi Phi and Kappa Alpha Psi. What we had decided was, like, the Alphas had done a lot of work to make sure that the Martin Luther King Memorial, whatever you think, I love the Alphas, put on earth the leaders, right? They made sure that if you go to DC, you'll see that monument, and they were instrumental. I participated in the Million Man March. The Sigmas gave up their international headquarters to plan it. And we were trying to think of what have we done of international or national scope to give back to our communities that have supported us with their children, supported us with all the things they've done to our activities. And we decided, look, we're founded on the same year, let's get together, and we're gonna build a super PAC to make sure, Barack Obama got reelected. So we only raised maybe about $200,000, but what we really did, we got as many of our members in the community to volunteer. That one of the things, again, as we mature politically, you know, back in the day, I was talking about Brother Witherspoon, just getting us registered was a big deal. Like, we had to be deputy registrars in Macon County just to get people registered. You had to go to Justice of the Peace and then swear, and then you could go out. And then we got people to actually go vote. So sometimes when we look at, and then they'll say, and this is true, black women are the #1, like, think about it. Black women, with all the things, black women are #1 supporters. They got Barack Obama elected 2 election cycles, all right? But now what they don't tell you, the #2 is black men. Like, why are you gonna separate us? Why couldn't it just been black folks? We're the only groups that get separated. They say the Asian, male, Asian, female. We always doing this. So I'm saying that as we mature and we develop in these ways, we looked at this as an opportunity to get our people to take it to a next step where they actually volunteered. They gave their time. You didn't wait till election day. Election day is one day. It's 365. We're going to have to be committed to our agendas, the things that we want to make sure happen every day, not just one day. If we want to make sure the Oaks gets opened up again by the federal government, we got to be active every day. Don't wait for somebody to think it's okay. If we're putting people in office, we need to be making sure our agendas, and I say agendas because of this. My #1 may not be your #1. My number one might be number 8. I said I'm a reparationist. Okay, fine, that might be number 1 for me. That might be like number 9 for you. Whenever you get around the 9th time, let's go work together on my number 1. Okay? And then when you might have one that I'm down with, I'll work with you. So we don't have to agree. Like this thing where, Booker T. Washington talked about being separate, like the 5 fingers of the hand, but working together. He was contextually talking about a greater community. But we as human beings in many ways can be that way. We don't have to agree, but you don't have to hurt me. You know what I'm saying? It don't cost nothing to wish somebody well. It costs nothing to wish somebody well. And it's the right thing to do. At least that's what my mama taught me. Mama, you did teach me that. Thank you, Mom. My mom was one of the most kindest women in the world, and my dad was very strict, military, background, St. Louis. My parents met at O'Fallon Tech. They were sweethearts in high school. And then I was born in Montana, so you imagine when people ask me where you're from, it's kind of tough. Montana, I don't even remember that place. So anyway, I digress. But I say all these things to culminate in this point, because I got to keep it short and tight. Okay, maybe it hasn't been tight, but it's, we're gonna keep the borders right here, right here. I think the biggest thing that we need to understand is our obligation to this amazing Mother Tuskegee. Our mama will always need us, and we gotta show her the love the way we should show it. And one of the things, and we're gonna talk about it later, we're literally doing a leadership endowment for $1 million. And we definitely need you, humbly. Just as much as athletics are important in development and leadership, just as much as being an artist and musician, many of our students that actually are going through other activities, extracurricular activities, they need the same coaching and support. And as building a leadership endowment, it'll allow us the opportunity to build something that perpetually will allow us to be more supportive of our young people. At the end of the day, Booker T. Washington, we talk about the bricks, we talk about the straw, but it really was the minds. You think about the George Washington Carvers. We got George Washington Carvers, that means faculty. But we want to make sure we can attract those faculty. Some of the most highly sought black faculty members have options. Now, back in Booker T. Washington, it was a little tough on the options. You know what I'm saying? This was the best thing going. It's still the best thing going, but I'm saying it was the only thing going. In that case, we want to make sure that there's money for faculty, endowing chairs, things that allow us to attract some of these amazing folks. And when those amazing folks come, they bring other folks. So just as much as we talk about building buildings to be helpful, if we just attract some more and additional amazing minds to help the minds that are already here, you bring research, you bring a lot more money. So we have to be the ones using our acumen in our different areas. I'm in Bitcoin, I'm in cryptocurrency, I'm in the tech startup world. Again, those spaces are difficult, but many of them don't even know about Tuskegee or the HBCUs. I'm leveraging those relationships to make sure they contribute to Mother Tuskegee. And many of you have some of the same things. Again, I didn't do corporate America very well. If y'all know my history, me and authority is a little problematic. I don't like being told nothing, except for my mom and dad. Now, my dad can tell me. I tell you, my dad told me, whatever you do, just be willing to accept the consequences. He didn't be able to get all the other parts of it. Whatever you do, be willing to accept the consequences. And I have, for better or for worse, on everything, okay? With that being said, we definitely got to use these moments to actually do something, utilizing our expertise and our networks of folks to bring it back to Tuskegee. The changes that we want to see made really aren't as difficult as we think they are. We got the best bones, the best structure of any of these universities. And then the cost of living is much lower here. So for us to do the things that we need to do to help the faculty out, to help the administration, to help the students, most importantly, out, I don't think, if you look at the return on that, it's going to be so difficult. So I think it's important that we just take this time to kind of focus on those things and use these moments to actually build. I love homecoming, but we need to make sure we spend more time, not on the last day, but maybe some early days. I love the party in Atlanta. I didn't go to school in Atlanta, though. But I love the party in these different places. But if we spend our time focusing on how to make Tuskegee better, where there's a better experience, activities, that's going to get us focused on what we need to do. So again, as I close, humbly, thank y'all for being so amazing. Please, keep in mind we've been through a lot as a people. We should be proud of what we've been able to do. There's nothing that we should be ever like. What we contribute to the world is simply amazing, and I just want to thank all of you.
This is I Love Black People Radio on HUR Voices, Sirius XM, Channel 141. I Love Black People is more than a radio show. I Love Black People is a call from our ancestors to protect us from racial profiling all across the world. Go to iloveblackpeople.com and become a member today. Membership empowers you to live fearlessly and protect Black people globally from racism and xenophobia. Join us today and become a member of our global network with an online global green book with Black-owned and Black-friendly businesses to protect you and your community. Membership is free, and with you, we will become 10 million strong worldwide. I am because we are. Special thanks to AFLAC for supporting I Love Black People Radio.